I'm going to wait a little bit to make sure most people who signed up make it before we fully start.
Is it populating?
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll just keep giving it a little moment here. I'll wait just a little bit more. It looks like we have quite a few people here now. So let's get started. So welcome to this webinar, Finding Finnish Roots with Arto Saarinen. I'm Maria Voltaine, the Operations Manager for Finlandia Foundation National, and I will be moderating this webinar today. We also have Anu Ehringer from the Finlandia Foundation Columbia Pacific chapter, and she's a board member. And we have a Finlandia Foundation National Board member, Katarina Lehtonen here, who's also a member of the Columbia Pacific chapter, which is in the Portland area, for those who don't know. Arto Saarinen himself is here, of course, and he has gained a lot of information just from his personal interest in the matter in genealogy. I would like to call him an expert, but as a Finn, he's like, no, that's not my background. His background is in engineering, but he's put together this extensive presentation that talks about the history and also gives valuable information for where all of us can find information about our family tree and history because of the extensive record keeping that was in Finland. This presentation will be emailed to all the participants, and also the webinar itself will be posted on YouTube. So we'll send the link once everything is ready to all the attendees. We will have a question and answer session. We have received a lot of questions in advance. This is a very long presentation, so we don't know how many questions we will be able to answer today. Hopefully the presentation itself will answer many of the questions you already have, but Arto has kindly agreed to be willing to look through any remaining questions that weren't answered and respond to them separately, and we will then send those answers to the attendees afterwards. So with that, and if you have not used a webinar before, been in a webinar before, please look down at the bottom of your screen. You will see a Q&A button. The Q&A button is where you can ask all the questions, and some of those questions will be answered in text if we know the answers. So pay attention to that for any ongoing communication. There's also a chat, but due to the length of this presentation, we'd like to keep the commentary to a minimum just so that we can get through all the material today. But you're welcome to use it if you do have things to say. That's how you communicate with the panelists. With that, Arto, please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you, and before we get started on your actual presentation.
Yeah, thank you. I'm happy that so many people decided to come and see this presentation. And it's really tough to talk about yourself, anything, but actually I'm an engineer from Finland. I was all my life in international trade, and that's the reason I ended up 1990 here in Chicago also, and I'm still here. And so in 90s, I used to travel like 4 times a year to Finland, and it was that time when I started thinking like I could do some genealogic studies, and I knew nothing about it. And so I went to provincial archives in Turku, where I was born in Turku, and my parents were still living there. And so every time I went to Finland, I made a reservation for this microfilm machines and copy machines. And so it was ready for me when I went there. And so I did a few years of that, learned how to do it, and took copies of those. And then getting a family here, I got like 20-year break, and I did nothing. And then I decided to check my stuff, and these copies I did, they had glued together, and they kind of ripped apart, and I couldn't read them really. And then, but then sometime I checked online. It wasn't enough to do anything really a few years ago, but just say 4 or 5 years ago, it started to be really amazing information online, and I restarted again my studies, and so I never stopped, and so here we are.
Well, thank you so much, and we're all definitely excited to see your presentation and hear all the things that you've discovered and put together for us. So we're going to turn the 3 of us, Anu, Katarina, and I are going to turn our video off, so you can just see Arto, and you can take it from here. And again, if you have any comments, questions, please use the chat Q&A functions, and we'll see you at the end of this presentation. Take it away, Arto.
All right. So yeah, this presentation is so that it basically goes in the order I would do my own studies, and so that's how this whole thing. I first make a file for myself that there were so many sources of information, and I just put it on a Word file where I had active links, so I didn't have to look for those information all over the place every time when I need it. And but basically we are going to go to this logic order how you would do these studies. And really, like I already said, that 30 years ago I traveled often to Finland, and I started this. And so I'm using Finnish sources like almost only, plus then some of these international sites like geni.com has been the best ever for me and many other people. I'm also a member in this FamilySearch.com and Family Tree DNA, Ancestry.com, and for those I didn't pay any membership yet, but I'm a member. And my plan is that when I'm done with this other stuff, then I can pay 1 year membership on each of those and look if I find something new over there which I couldn't find anywhere else. So then this is the agenda of this presentation. We go through the most important tools, and those are birth records, marriage records, death records, communion books, and geni.com. And then I have case studies. I'm not going to go, these are our Chicago chapter case studies here. And but I have then case studies for this group also. And so let's go to the next. So birth records, they are organized by church parish of a town or rural county in Finland. In Finnish, it was called pitäjä. It doesn't even exist anymore, but it was a kind of administrative district of a church and the government. And then those include birth date and the date of christening, name of the child, names of the parents, and unfortunately, so those which are existing from 1600s, only father's name is there. And so we miss half of the family tree there already. names of the godparents, or they were called also witnesses. Later, also mother's age was written in those. And then the name of the farm or place they are from, and social standing, such as if the person is owner of the farm, like head of the household, or owner's son or daughter. That's also told. If it is a farmhand, blacksmith, tailor, skinner, also dragoon, and many other. And here's an example of communion book. So what we have here is we have it's Nousiainen parish kind of county in western Finland, and we are talking about now people who were born, and we have here 1840 here and January. So it shows us that in January 10 was born Anna Matilda, underlined here, and she was christened on January 12th. And father was, it says here in Swedish, a young farmer from Alakylä, which is the name of the farm, and his name is Johan Johansson, and then his wife, hustru, that's Swedish here, is Anna Matsdotter. Yeah, and then here's father, like what is like fathers, which are like godparents, and it lists all those here too. So let's go back to the presentation. So next is I'm just checking here. Marriage records. So again, it's organized so that it's a date and place of the marriage, names of the bride and bridegroom, where the both are from, social standing again of both, as in birth records, and if both were from the different parishes, the wedding took place at the bride's church. And then also here we have names of witnesses. And so in all the records, this marriage records are together with the same books as birth records and death records. Later they were separated. But here's an example. Again, it's the same parish at Nousiainen, and so I need this to see myself this thing. So we can check, for example, here we have it was what year we have here? I think it's 1832, and say December 12th, and it says farmer's son and young man, Jacob, or Jacob like in English, but Jacob Andersson from Sondamala, Tapani. So Sondamala is the village and Tapani is the farm name, and made with Pigan, which is actually many times it means that's the young girl. And because Pigan can also be a farmhand, a female one, but in this case it's not. And she's also farmer's daughter, Sofia Mattsson, and she is from Kärmelä village and Mikkola farm. So that's an example of that. And now, next is the birth and burial records, and again, it's the same method. You know, we have all these names and dates and social standing, and also birth records always tells the age, and in most cases there's the cause of death, which was pretty horrible, I mean, those pandemics that they had those days also. And then many times it says that what kind of bell ringings were given, because you could get different kind of bell ringings from the church depending on how much you paid church fee for that. And so again, they can be again together with these other records, birth and marriage. So here's just an example. And again, we are talking about same Nousiainen here. So 1820. And so we have, so even this first one here in January, person died January 1st and was buried January 9th. And it's Risola Antila Punden Mats. So it was Antila, farm called Antila, and the owner of that, the farmer, his name was Mats, and he died from a red fever, and he was 62 years old and 3 months. Now this is one of the most important things, this communion books, because now we get the whole family, extended family, and how they were living many times. So this started in already in late 1600s, these communion books, but most available are from early 1700s. And they are again organized by this villages of the parish, and then by farms in the village. Most of the books lists the entire household, and in Eastern Finland and Northern Finland, often they are listed separately. The children are not listed with the normal communion books, but it's more like there's separate children's books, just listing the parents and the kids. I don't know why they separated it, but anyhow, so that's how it was done. And again, main information is pretty much the same as in these other records, that you have the names and what was the standing, was it the farmer himself, his wife, their sons, daughters, son-in-law, grandparents, farmhands, possible soldiers, and many other. Their birthday or year, when they died, and sometimes when they married, and where everyone came from in many cases. And it's excellent for this genealogical studies. So let's go to the next page. So these are like when birth and death and marriage records are missing, like they are in many cases, this information can still be found in these communion books. And then because they are communion books, actually they tell when they had communions, and also the knowledge of catechism, and then about the names and markings with the in this communion books till they are in Swedish all till late 1800s, and if no last name existed, the patronyms were used. So, for example, Lars Mattsson, and in Finnish it would be Lauri Matinpoika. So these are in this family trees, they are mixed match, and luckily some family trees list both Swedish and Finnish names. And so this Lars Mattsson's son would be, so if son is Anders and daughter Gertrud, they would be Anders Larsson and Gertrud Larsdotter. And in Finnish, likewise, Antti Laurinpoika and Kerttu Laurin tytär. So those are the patronyms. And then there are different markings with next to the names, and I'll explain them later. And here's again an example. So now this is in Haapajärvi, it's in northern Finland. And so it's Haga is the name of the farm. Happens to be our chapter's former president, Lisa, was from this family. Anyhow, so here we can see that this communion books is from 1848 to 54. And so it lists the head of the farm or household was Jacob Anderson, and his birth date, which is April 21st, 1813. And wife is HU here, means Swedish hustru, but it's wife, Anna Greta. And then their daughter Kaisa Lisa, and now Jakob's daughter here, and Anders' son, Jakob's son, and so on, and their birth dates. And then here, this next columns here is the knowledge of catechism and reading and those skills, because it was important. You had to know that to be able to get married, actually. So, and that's why people can read quite well in old days. And then on this right-hand page is then actually when they did communions, and so it's years and then what dates. So these folks seem to be doing the communion once a year. I noticed that my ancestors did 4 times a year, and they did like when it was All Saints' Day, Christmas, Easter, and then Pentecost in May, I believe, but it varies by the moon. So that's an example of communion book. And many times these communion books then include then names of earlier generations as well. Now, next. So I did a small dictionary here, like what happens in this communion books and other church books. So on the left here we have just this like in Swedish we have if it has in front of the names B or BD or Bunde, it means farmer, the head of the farm. In Finnish isäntä, and then HU hustru, that's Swedish wife, and Finnish vaimo, and so on. And then so it's a fast little dictionary, and those are basically used all over all these books. And then where to find this information? So the biggest one probably is Finnish National Archives, and their digitalized documents, and they have digital index. And so it's a free service, and it's still missing many late 1800s documents, but currently mostly everything till 1860. About there may be some later ones too, and I'll just click it now. So this is wonderful. Now we can see on the left is blue. It's alphabetic order of these archives of all kinds, but especially then in the basic studies is that you go to these different parishes here, and we can just take, so for example here, Eura parish in Western Finland, double click it. Oh, I went too far. So then these, unfortunately, they are in so far they are only in Finnish here. I wonder if they have also in Swedish. I go back. Yeah, it's also available in Swedish here, but nothing in English yet. But if I go back to that, but you learn fast this stuff even if it is what it is. So it lists all these parishes, church books, all kinds of stuff. But we can just take an example, like again, communion books, which is in Finnish rippikirja or pair like head. I guess head count. So, but then we click those and we say that how many different time periods. In this case, they start from 1685 and exist until 1860 in Eura's part of this archive. Let's do this 1790, 1800. Now we see comes all the villages and then the farms. So on the left-hand side, we have the village name, and on next to that, to the right, is the name of the farm. So we can take here, for example, this it's called Rusthol, which is like horse. This farm supported the soldier with a horse and weaponry, and so they were bigger farms. So let's check. It's Lähdenoja, what we can see here. So okay, so Lähdenoja Rusthol. So it's like horse. It's not really horse farm, but there's not a translation into English at all in this. It was all Swedish kind of thing. So there's the owner is, and he's called Rusthållare Anders Andersson, and wife is Valborg Miguelsdotter. And so looks like Anders died, because now she's also mentioned here that she's a widow, Enka. So, but this is just an example here, what can be found over there. Then we have Finland's Family History Association. Joining fee is $10, and then you have $17. It's euros, 17 euros annual fee, and it covers then even later documents all the way to 1910, and the copies of these documents are better than in this national archives. They use some money to do them better, and so let's see. I just go first to this. This is the site, and there's you can get something free here, but then if you are a member, you go for members, and then you go image database, and you go to church records, for example. And now again we have alphabetically here all the parishes of Finland, and so we can click any of this. Let's go Huittinen. So now we get the Huittinen's communion books in their system start 1728, and it goes to nice 1912, and it's the same as we did earlier, that we click this time period, and then comes all the villages and all the farms, and then we click those and we get the individuals there. So this is like wonderful service actually. So of course, you know, these records are nowhere else available unless you probably go to Finland. And so then next we have the Genealogical Society of Finland. They have 39 euro annual fee, and what is excellent, they have this HISKI project, which is unbelievable service. You can do fast, and it's also in English. Fast searches, it's all digital, and the database is enormous, and you can do searches all kinds there. And it's growing all the time, because the volunteer members who are adding this information there. So somebody has to actually read this crazy old handwritings and then type it at home, and they are entered to their database. And so it becomes extremely searchable. And so we can go there. This is how it looks when you are a member. And so now Again, same idea that we have a list of every parish in Finland. And so should take something I know here. Let's take key. I'll take key. Come. So now it shows where Kika is located, and now you can see that they have this church records. So the christening from starting 1698 till 1906, and in this case, and then marriage records also likewise period, and then you can do this and the neighboring parishes. So many times you can make a search including the neighboring areas, and of course it's possible that somebody was not born where you think, but was from few miles further, but it comes to another church area. So if I go here like I do all, let's do so that I'll just take some 1800 to 1821, and I'll increase it to 1000 here. And let's say I do all. So submit. Now we get everybody who was christened at that time in that parish, and there's the village, farm, father, mother, and the child's name. And you can click then, say if it is like here, this, and now you get nicely just that record of that one kid. There's a village, farm, again father Bunden, so he is the farmer, his name Jakob Henriksson, Maria Andersdotter, and the kid is Thomas. And so, and then we can go down. We get, I do too much, we don't get anything else but this birth. I should narrate. So here's married. Now we get the marriage record same way. So the date, village, farm, man, wife, where the wife is from, and what farm she is from. And then same way, just death records. And then if we go back, we can take, say, everybody whose first name is, say, Anders, or Antti in Finnish. But now we get everybody who's by the name Anders here, whatever records they are. Or we can put some place name here. And then everything from that place, the farm or village, then list everything depending on what range of years you do. So this is a wonderful, wonderful source. And so you can search enormously much stuff. And then my favorite Arto is genie.com. And so it's a world family tree. So it's the world's biggest family tree. There are millions of people in that family tree, millions, and there are thousands getting every day more there, because so many people are adding the family members there all the time, night and day. And so it's free, but then if you want certain functions more, then it costs about a little over $100 a year, and then you also go pro member like I am. And so it's I normally always start checking like if this person I found can be already found in Gini, because then it says so much time because somebody already had found all the ancestors and whatever you're looking for. And so in my case, I had probably hundreds of names on my own, but then suddenly I was clicking something, and I was able to connect to enormous. It's actually Finland's biggest tree called Suursill. They were from Sweden in 1500. So this Suursill family, they were like, was it 6 daughters, and they married well, and so they also got a lot of kids, and so they're I think existing at least over 400,000 members in this family tree, and almost all that is on in Gini.com, and so I found so many relatives over there. Then, of course, and so those are those lucky things, and then but I've been able to connect to other big trees also without being part of this Suursill. My ancestor grandmother was Christine Suursill, and then our current president here, I did his family tree, and happened to be Catherine Suursill, the sister, and so we are cousins from 1500s. They moved to Finland from Sweden, this family, and anyhow, so we could actually just click it fast. Loading. So I can just show like my own, for example, here. There. Yeah, all right, here. It was a little bit slow. So now, here you can see on the right-hand side that according to this, but it must be then more, but the system just limits it to 100,000, or then I have to do some settings to increase it. But I have ancestors here, almost 1,900. And earliest ones I have go to 1,200. And so it's pretty amazing. And then you can easily, when you're in this system, then you can click different kind of names and find if you are related and how are you related. And it's kind of really fun. But anyhow, drop that down. Other important sites. There's something called Suomen asutuksen yleisluettelo, which is the general register of the settlement in Finland. And it's also in the digital archives. So it goes all the way to early 1500s. And it was before the actual communion books, because they needed to keep information on how many people were and who is able to pay taxes and who is where. And so, but it goes like 500 years backwards, and that's one way. Then you can get from say 1600s or even some very early 1700s. You can go then back 200 years with these records, and then you have one guy long ago did like the directory of the farm owners and occupants in Finland. That's another wonderful source also. And so it tells I can basically fast sort. Let's go Huittinen. So now Huittinen Paris, and then it lists all. It's not all, but the most. What kind of farms they were, and so, for example, here we have I think Huittinen is the parish, Sampo is the village, and Erkkilä is the farm. So here we can see that the record goes to late 1700s, and who was the farmer, and we have even when the person was born and when they married, and where they married, and when they died, and where they died, and wife name, and wife's last name, which is then a good source also, because then you know that the wife comes from Pietilä farm, for example, here, and is married to Erkkilä fellow. And so, see, the first one known is here was already farmer known that he was 1487. So that's really neat and nice information. Now, then there's this database of immigrants from Ostrobothnia, and which most of the Finns who immigrated to US and Canada are probably from Ostrobothnia. And so I never needed it, but I joined a couple of months ago because I was helping this other group. And so they have old passport records, and then this what's it called, like ship records. And so I'll show later this thing, because it's part of the case study in one case of one of you. Then we have a family search, which is a index of digitized records for Finland by Mormons, and it basically covers everything like these other ones. And so they, of course, are well organized, and it would be then probably easier in English, but I never needed that. I'm a member though. And then My Heritage, also that costs some, and it's same way. And I think My Heritage was connected to, it's joined with genie.com, so they're easy to get information from the other to the other one. And the Ancestry, yeah, no, My Heritage is one. Yeah, no, that's I've already said that. I think that's the one with the genie, and so I'm a member of all those, and occasionally I get some information on those, but I didn't have any time yet to focus on them, and then of course I did DNA studies of my own in a few of these, and there's tons of unlimited number of cousins now. Then I found although it's difficult to get them to join to my family tree, because I don't know how they are really related, if it is the fifth cousin or something. So there's still so much to figure out how these DNA records and the cousins from there could be integrated to your actual family tree. Yes. Then the dictionaries, I found these, and they are really nice also. So let's click this. Okay. Finnish genealogical word list. So, okay. So we have Finnish words here, and then in English. So this is a really easy dictionary for this our studies. Likewise, there's Swedish. So we have a Swedish word here, like say adlig, noble, address, surprisingly address. And so it's a really nice dictionary. And other source, old handwritings. So I have collected all kinds of books and copied in libraries books, but so much also these days in online, because how they were writing in 1600s handwriting was different than 1700s, which was different than 1800s, and you really had to look this how they were writing cursive those times, and slowly you can learn reading them, comparing here and there, and but it takes time, but it's kind of interesting too. Some are really beautiful handwritings, and some priests seem like they weren't really good writing, or some were probably even drunk doing it. So, but so here's, for example, 57 pages of handwritings, old. So here's example now we get. All right. So this is like 1500s, how upper cases and lower cases were written in different ways. And then 1600s, different than 1500s. And in many cases, in these different centuries, we think like letter N, more smaller case, it can be almost anything. It could be A, it could be E, and so it takes a while to figure that out. 1700s, and then this German style, 1800s and 19th, Roman. So this is a really nice list, and then it's also then second part of this same book, and it's still loading because it's a big file, but it's now different documents. So examples of different documents which come sooner or later if somebody goes deeper in this research. And what else? Yeah, more old handwriting styles from one family research association website in Finland. They had 7 pages put together, really nice. But so okay, now we have case studies here. So we have I said that I try to squeeze this in this 2 hours about, and we have actually quite a bit questions I received, and these are case studies I did for our guys here, and I just this is so fun. I found like our current president, Dan Mäki, so he knew only his father's name and when he was born. Then I was able to find a lot of information, and eventually it came to this. It was in Gini. Then after I went several generations, different part of Finland, and this is so amazing. Oh, it says that his who the heck is this is now? Yeah, I think Dan's father is my 12th cousin, and so we can see because it's in a Gini. So if I click this link here, which is Otto Mäki, Tikanmäki is your 12th cousin. So I click here, and I can see how I'm related to him. So this is the whole family tree connection to him. So it's my mom, his dad, his dad, his mom, her father, and it shows all this, and it goes to father, mother. Now we get this Sursil here, the Christina Östendotter Sursil. They were this. That's why those family trees so humongous. And then, so my grandmother was a sister of his. So he was this. She was Anna Östensdotter Sursil, and so that's all. Then you can click this. So I can see my grandmother. She was born 1567 in Umeå, Sweden, and so let's see. His wife of Henrik Limingus. Let's go. What was my grandfather? So he was born about 1563 in Liminka, Finland, and he was a priest. See, we were no Catholics anymore that time. So this is so fun. You can find these different connections when you're able to join this big family trees. So anyhow, so what? Oh, I should go back. One important thing. What was amazing actually about that. So look at this. This Dan's father had over 8,000 ancestors. It's enormous. I mean, I've never seen anything like that. So it goes to all the way to Charlemagne and all the kings of Frank to year 2000 or Anno Domini, and they all listed there. And so that was really amazing. So that was exciting. Now, I think I try to do a switch now I end sharing this, I believe, or can I do new share? Yes, I don't know how I would know if you can see now that I changed this presentation to Word document, and there's number one, and it says Greg Jacob here. I hope somebody can somehow tell me if that's visible.
It's visible.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, so now we go to this case studies. And don't worry about this, I had to go through it so fast because I'm gonna make sure that everybody gets this presentation with the active links so you can go through it yourself, and then of course it's gonna be also a recording. So you can take whatever time to whatever details on those. So anyhow, so I got a bunch of questions by email, and so first one here is Greg Jacob, and what is he saying here? He knew that I think his my mother is Dorothy Luoma, her mother Lilian Hakkila. She was daughter of Abel Hakkila and Anna Virkala. So, okay. It was known that Anna Virkala was born 1877 in Vaasa. So I went to Vaasa birth records and there was no Anna Virkala at all, not even here and there. And then I was able to find that there was Anna Josefina Virkala, born January 4, 1876 in Kaustinen. And that time, in many records, this Kaustinen is still, it was part of the bigger Vaasa district somehow. So people consider that they are from Vaasa instead of Kaustinen probably. And maybe that's the reason why it's maybe wrongly documented. So, and then I decided also to check if she's in the genie. And so here's that somebody had open hyperlink. So there's this Sherry Lynn had added Anna J. Hakkila over here, and and then there's also husband Abel, but there's nothing else really. But some of the kids at least are here, and maybe now missing. Some which can be easily added there. So anyhow, this is Kaustinen birth records, and so we can find this Anna Josephine in 1876 here. So it's Swedish or 1876 here, and then Anna Josephine, and then it says parents, and I think I have a link here. Oh, it's a better here, better picture. So parents are Bunden, which is a farm owner, Henrik Gustav Andersson. So they put this Andersson, they just put double S written this way here, and not writing ON at the end, Virkala. And again in Swedish, och hustru and wife, Maria. Yeah, and then father is like a godparents. And so the same can be then, because this is so new, it wasn't in those free information yet, but here's this record where I found it. So here.
We can't see the page you opened.
Oh, you can't?
No.
I see. No?
Yes.
Okay. So it's here the same as I took a picture, because if you are not paid member, that you can't see anything now. But so I took clip picture of that. But here's the original. Okay. So and then Henrik Gustav Andersson. Here's the father. Let's see what's over here. Oh, so here we find, because I was just Googling this stuff, and so then in ancestry.com somebody had already done this nice little family tree over here. So we can see that Anna Josephine is here, although the birth year is not correct, but she's there. And then this is father's record, Henrik Gustav Andersson Virkala, Känsäkoski. Känsäkoski was then the farm. And his wife, Maria Johansdotter Virkala, also born in Kaustinen in 1850. And he was born 1841. And then his parents, Antti Juhonpoika, so Antti like Anders Johansson Varila Kansakoski, that's incorrect, it should be Kansakoski, and his wife, correctly. And anyhow, so we found that information there. And so we have Henrik's birth records here. Yeah, here it is. So now I can see the year, but we have to go back. So 41. So it's March. He is here, March 5th. And again, father was Bunden farmer, Anders Johansson Känsäkoski, and mother is Anna Henriksdotter, and their son Henrik Gustav, and then godparents. And then we can go communion books. Känsäkoski farm, and looks like Köyhäjoki village. There's strange names. I mean, it's Köyhäjoki means poor river. And so anyhow, we can see again the Anders Johansson, his birth date was 1804, his wife, Anna Henriksdotter, born 1804, same year, and all their kids. The reading skills of catechism, and then the communions here. And so then about Abel Hakkila, I was able to find this. It's a Find the Gray memorial. Open. So this came. Amazingly, how much there's information, now, for example, about him now, his birth date, where he was born in Finland, and it's in America, this records, and where he died and burial place, and then little obi here, I guess. So that's really nice information. So what we based on that, then we can find his birth records here. Okay, Abel, where are you? I have to go back to oh, July 10. So okay, go back. Oh, here it is. Are you seeing this? It says July here, Juli on the top. Hopefully it's visible.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, so he's here, the number 2 here, born on the 10th, July 10th. And again, he's listed here as his father is farmer's son, bondeson, Henrik Henriksson, and from Niemelä. And wife is Maria. And so anyhow, but that's the record. That's Appelo. Let's take this Niemelä where he's from, the farm. We go to the communion book. Open. So now it was Sipola village in Rantsila parish, and there's listed 2 farms, Keräinen and Niemelä. So Niemelä's down here. Unfortunately, it's quite dark, this picture. But anyhow, we can see this father, Henrik Henriksson. He was born 1825 here, and wife, mother Maria Andersdotter. Now we know the last name of patronym. She was born 27. And then the kids. And Abel is listed here as the youngest on the bottom, was born 69. So that was now the next case study is Jeff Knutila. So he says here, my great-grandmother gave her 3 sons the last name of her father. My great-grandfather. We don't know who the father is of my great-grandfather. Last name is Knutila. So, okay, and they have actually wonderful family tree already on Ancestry. So this is Knutila's family tree over here. And so here's a grandmother who gave birth to 3 sons, but there's no known husband or father for these boys. And so let's go back here. And I went to all these birth records, and indeed, there was no father mentioned in any of this case. Then I went to this another. I don't know if that's anyhow helpful for Jeff, but I found that they are also in Gini. So let's see. Oh no here. So in Gini, Britta Helena, so again, no husband mentioned him, and not even still Jeff has to then obviously add this boys over there, because there are no children marked over here, but it's easy to add family and connect his own information to this. And it's another thing, but I mean, it's you basically add family here, the function here, and you can add it till you get to yourself. But what's amazing here, however, this is already fairly large family tree. She has 213 ancestors in the Gini tree. I don't know, maybe it's exactly the same number as in this ancestry.com, that I don't know. But if not, there's so many here that can be added, and if that's the case. Anyhow, so find nothing about this father of these kids, So, but I found then a communion book of the farm they were living. And so here it is. So it's Sapsalampi village and Knutila farm. There's maybe several buildings and landowners to this Knutila. It's probably been chopped generation by generation, but we can find here this great-grandmother. She is she's here. She's now Lena, because she was Britta Helena, so now she is using only Lena as first name, and Juuson tytär, which is Juhan's daughter, and her birth date here. And so she's from Knutila, because from this farm here. She was born here, and it's a Samoin here, same. That is the sister here, Sophia Lisa, and it says daddy, auntie here. And birth year was 41 for auntie, and so they live as a family, these two sisters, and then this younger sister's 3 kids, Nestor, Emil, and Axel. So that was, and this communion book was 1890 ending. So no information could be found about the father of these boys. So, but in this case, I think Jeff is lucky because of he is a direct father line to this unknown father. So if you do the DNA study, you would get white DNA information, and it's very likely that you will find this missing ancestor grandfather through this possible cousins who come through this white DNA findings. And so I don't know how to do it, because I haven't been there yet, but it should be fairly easy to do that. And so that's what I could suggest. Next, we have a case study, Kelly Rocher. Hopefully I say correctly. So she had, what she had here, so let me see. I think she had few. So first one is, she has ancestor grandfather Johannes Loukola, and I guess he was married to Kaiser Haag, but that's incorrect. It should be Kaisa Haag. And then I found that what is this now going here? I lost my, no. So, okay. So I found that, so this Johannes Loukola was actually twin of Johan Abraham Loukola, and then Anni Katri, born May 28, 1890 in Oulu. And unfortunately, this little Anni daughter died, I think, 1 year later. But anyhow, so here's the birth record. Yeah. Huh. Oh, here. So 28th of May here, Johan, Abraham, and Anni Katri. And fathers Johan Loukkola and mothers Kaisa Charlotta. And then it lists the witnesses. And so that we found there. And I took a picture of it here. Then we can find from a children's book of that time. Where is it now? Loukkola. Aha. Found it. Yeah, so here's still listed Johan Loukkola, born 48, and Katarina Charlotta, born 1851. Their son Johan Abraham, born 90. Anna Katarina. So that's probably that Anni Katri, who then died too early. I can't get that. Looks like it died 1891. And then another daughter, I'm not sure, Karin Charlotta, born 91. Anyhow, so I have a picture here. Yeah, so we see this church book now, that communion book. First time we see that this wife Katarina Charlotta, last name is Heg, H-A with umlauts, 2 G's. Katarina Charlotta Heg, born 51. And what is this now? I have to click this one. All right. So now this is a later church book. So they are here still in Loukkola. And then Johan already died. It's here mentioned then like 1889. And actually here's also interesting then, because now we learn from this book that actually Johan came from Kempele in 1860. So that's the next place then to look for his information and ancestors before that. And so I think this is church book page number here. And looks like he may have come there too, but that's another story. What else? Yeah, we learned when Johan Loukkola was born. But in the children's book, it was listed incorrectly 48, but actually he was born 42. So it can be wrong years in many places, and in this case it was. And so they moved to Kempele. From Kempele they moved to Oulu. So this was Oulu records. And that's I found when Johan died. And then here's Johannes Loukkola's birth record. First from Hiski. Let's check what they have. So Hiski nicely here and simple. So born January 15, no, yeah, January 15 and christened January 18th. And he was torppari, so he was like tenant farmer, Johan Loukkola at that time, and mother Lisa, 42 years old, kid Johannes. So now, all right, then I have the other one here, is the actual birth record. This was the digital form of Hiski, but this is the actual one if you click this. And then the other person was Jacob Boom, and who was born January 5, 1855 in Oulu, and found that was born to sjömannen sailor Jacob Boom and Sofia Albertina Lindgren. And what is here now? So, aha. Yeah, here. So here it is, birth record of 1855. We have what, January? Says sjömannen sailor, Jacob Boom, and Sofia Albertina, and the barn's child, Jacob. Yeah, and then the godparents for another sailor, Anders Häggman, and some other folks. And then let's see, communion book of Boom. Here's so here's and it was listed in this area, like you have there's just alphabets, and then you hope that then you find Boom over there in one of the B starting, and so it was there. And so it says sjöman here, sailor, first name first Boom, Jacob, and when he was born. And he was born in, now we know that next thing is to go to Liminga and check Liminga birth records about that time, and you could find the next generation from there. And so he moved directly where he was born to Oulu. And then wife Sofia Albertina Lindgren was born 1822. And then here's Jacob already here. And he was born Uleåborg, which is Oulu in Swedish. And so that's a nice little record. Oh, I go back yet one more time. I think there was something more. Oh yeah, so here's a little marking that he's owner part of that city lot. So they put that there too. The next person is Lisa Sofia Riekki, born March 8, 1855 in Oulu, to Abram Riekki and Madlena Hauru. So I find that again, this was also sailor, father Abram Riekki and Madlena, and here's the birth record. Yeah, here we have it. Sjöman, again a sailor, Abram Riekkis or Riekki, and his wife Madlena's daughter Elizabeth Sofia. And then again, godparents, sailor Johan Ahlström. I can't read it. Axel Stein and wife Susanna. And okay. And then we go to their Reki's communion book. We learn more over there. Let's see what we have. Yes, the whole Reki family. So we have we learn that Abram Reki, born 1823, that patronym is actually matronym. So there's no known father, but mother. So it's he's Brita's son. Mother is Brita. Wife, Madlena Hauru. And I can't read, what is that? Too much sunshine here. I can't read it now. And then there are kids. So this is a nice little family information here. And next case study, we have Teija Neville, and she had Saimi Sivia Paavola, born in 1896 in Pyhäjärvi, and died in Oulu, 1983. And was later married to August Koskela. And so found this Saimi Sivia's birth record in Pyhäjärvi in Oulu province. And so here it is, Saimi Sivia. It's Appelo, it means like pastor, and mother Itselinen, which is independent, Fredrika Paavola, and then the godparents. Then we have a communion book. Where we're going to find more about this family. No. I had to go back. So we have this communion book, and we are looking for. Okay. Go back. Why is Fredrika? Oh, here. Here's Fredrika. Now, 73. And Brita, mother, I believe now. Nestor. So, okay, Antti Hiskias, Antti Hiskiasson Paavola, and Erika Hiskiasson Orava. And then so there must be then their son, Samuli Hiskias, Samuli Heikki Antim poika. Wait a minute. Paavola. Hiskiasson Paavola, born 46. And this is confusing to me now. It wasn't yesterday. So here we see the whole family at one time. We find that Fredrika was born 1873, and her father was Hiskiasson Paavola, born 1846. And his second wife, Britta Maria Kangasoja. Yes, okay, now. So I go back there. So, and how we know that it was the second wife? Because in the birth record, it was a different woman for this Fredrika. And so, yeah, so, yeah, here it is. This is the second wife, Britta. That's the grandfather, Hiskias' son. And this is Fredrika. And now, when did they get married? Was it here somewhere? No. Yeah, so this it's too little this text now that I can't focus on that. But anyhow, it was the second wife, and then here's actually birth record of this Fredrika, and so now we know that there's a different mother then. And coming. Oh, I can't see. Oh, Fredrika. Here it is. Can't zoom it correctly. But here it is, however, so we have that it's May 19 was Fredrika born, and so the father was the farmer Hiskias Paavola. It was first written incorrectly, and the wife Anna Sofia. So Anna Sofia was mother. Go back to the original stuff here. And it is here. I put a picture of that here. Then we can go to, we would go then Pyhäjärvi, Hiidenniemi village, Paavola farm communion book. And from there we find this family then. I can actually, and from this communion book, I read it first that that there's now even previous generations of this family is grandfather Hiskias Staffansson, who was born 1818, and grandmother Kaisa-Stina Henriksdotter and Vänni, her last name. It's easy to go study more than generations of this, knowing this. She was born same year, and then on I said here that on the right column bottom we can see that Hiskias and Anna were married 1869, and that her whole name was Anna Sofia Johansdotter Kähärä. So now we know where to find her ancestors, because we know that last name and all, and that she was born in August 5, 1850. And then I found her birth record here, but let's go first to this communion books, we can see it. But now I mean, now it completely opens a further generations, all directions. So we have communion book from Pyhäjärvi, 1865-74, and Hiidenniemi village, Paavola farm. So here's the old man Hiskias Staffansson, born October 15, 1818, and wife Kaisa Stina Henriksdotter Vänni, born August 2, 1882, and then there are kids here. And now let's see, I was talking about this right hand. Yeah, because now there's on the lower page here, there's this Hiskias son, who was then married to this I mess up these names. Yeah, so okay, here's Anna Sofia Johansdotter Käärä. That was the mother of that one kid on the previous page. And so looks like, I think he was then even married before that, but I can't do it now. But so, okay, let's go back to this original information here. Yeah, so, okay. So Anna Sofia married Hiskias in 1869. And here's the birth record of Anna Sofia Johansdotter Käärä, that grandmother. Let's see what happens there. Yeah, came immediately here. Beautiful, nice handwriting too. So it's in Pyhäjärvi parish, Oulu province, born and christened 1850 August 5, christened 11, Anna Sofia, and her father is farm owner Johan Gustafsson Kähärä, and his wife Elsa Priitta Ulosdotter. So now we know that generation. So that should be really easy to go 100 years backwards from that. Should be no problem actually. And but anyhow, so what else we have here? Oh, we have one more communion book. It's not Kähärä family. Let's check it. So that's from 1848 to 54. In Pyhäjärvi, Kähärä, Hiidenniemi village, here, Kähärä farm. So now we have an old guy here, Gustav Gustafsson, born 1793, and wife Stina, can't see it now. Stina Persdotter was born 1798, and Johan Gustafsson, the son here, and so on. And Johan's wife Elsa Priitta Ulosson, is it now Junnila here? So again, more information here, which helps them go further to previous generations. Then next we have Alan Pearson. And what is he looking for? He had several names here. One One thing he's asking like about the DNA studies in Finland, but I think they are mostly this international thing. So I don't know anything like really Finnish ones was one of his questions. So I did original National Geographic, and then I did this Ancestry.com and Family Tree DNA, and I tried also this is it me and 23 whatever, and they couldn't do it, and sent another set, and I did it again, and then they said they can't complete it, and then they said that they can return the money if I promise that I will never use their service again, and so I said send my money back. So I never got from them, but maybe I'll try one day. Maybe they forgot me. I don't know. So anyhow, but so here Alan has 3 people. So Aurora Matilda Lindström, born 1880 in Tranvik, Sund, Åland, and so I find that because all he knew that it was in Åland. So I found that she was born in Sund area of Åland and in Tranvik village. So it was a little bit, I've never been doing in Åland Islands. It was a little bit different, so, but it was interesting. So we can find here birth records in Hiski. So, okay. What we learn here is that she was born indeed March 8, 1880 in Tranvik, in Sund area, its island group, and Skrättare-dotter. So she was a tailor's daughter, Serafia Matilda Lindström, age 35. Kid is Aurora Matilda. So no father known. Then we found, and then actually you can easily go and find them more like this records of earlier generations. If you go Hiski and put this certain areas and just keep searching, and you get a listing of all these names and Lindströms, and you find other siblings, and then you can go further generations. So that's the way you would do it in Hiski. And then, of course, you can use these other websites to get the actual originally written copies of the records. Next one was Serafia. Okay, yeah, no, say, then this Aurora's, I found Aurora's mother was Serafia, so I found through Hiski her birth records. So here we have. So she was born in Finnby, which is another area in a village there in Åland Islands. And there's the father, Skrättare. So he is tailor Anders Gustav Lindström, and wife is Margareta Serafia Johansdotter. She was 24. And then we can find I mean, you could do it forever, I mean, but I decided I'll take this marriage records also from Hiski. So, right, they married, he was county tailor, Anders Gustav Lindström, and they married December 30th, 47, and in Tranvik. And he married bondedotter, a farmer's daughter, Margareta Serafia Johansdotter. So now you could just go further and further, in even just with this Hiski, and it's all in English there too. And then you can go check. Then, if it is not in Hiski, you have to go then to these other services. Then. Next one, we have Anita Sturgard, or Sturgård. I don't find my father's date of birth. He was born in Finland, served with Finnish army during World War II. His full name was Franz Isidor Sturgard. Immigrated to Canada 51 or 52. My mother and oldest sister followed him in 1952. I was born later, settled in Port Arthur, Ontario, and died 63, buried at Riverside Cemetery, Thunder Bay, Ontario. This is all I have. So what I found then, I Googled and I found this obituaries in Ontario on this, I can show this site. Loading. So you just go to look at Sturgard, and here's. So we found this here, and so that was helpful to go further actually. Then I Googled more, and then came this myheritage.com, and they have more information there. So I opened that. Look at that. So it's where is it? Where are you? Oh, there. So found this Franz Isidor Sturgård. Now it's spelled uppercase or Swedish order. It should be lower, of course. And now we know that he was also born in this record. We know July 3, 1921 in Vasa, and died in 63 in America. And now we know also that the parents were Frans Hugo Johansson Sturgård and Elsa Kristina Sturgård Håkansson. And so I don't know how they put uppercases in the middle of the name, but anyhow, we were lucky to find this information. And then got this Sturgård, my heritage family trees. Is this now the same? Let's see. So we have more information in my heritage here. So listing parents Frans Hugo Johansson Sturgård, Elsa Kristina Sturgård, Ni Håkansson, and then brother Hugo Torvald Sturgård. Anyhow, so what else we have? Then, okay, we found something in Genie, I believe. No, this is embarrassing. I have to go back here. I had to come back to this because this is now Jaakko. Frans Johansson. No. No, this is already different thing. Let me check one other thing here. Just a moment, guys. Oh, okay. So because I was still typing this thing and doing the studies this morning. So I didn't put them in perfect order here now. So anyhow, now we are done with this Franz Isidor Sturgård, and more information then can be found based on this information. But then the last item here was Jennifer Lagergren, and so this next one. So yes. So okay. So she has one family member, and his name is Walfrid Johannes Koski, and she was thought that Koski actually was Kuorikoski originally, and but the name became Koski when coming here in Finland, and so let's see now. Oh my goodness, I have so many to go yet. We only have 2 hours, but let's see now what. Yeah, okay, here it is. So I go fast through this, because I put it in the wrong order here. So anyhow, so I found that I went to this Finnish Immigration Institute, which I'm a member of, and was searching there, and I found that there was a passport record of Jonas Walfrid Kuorikoski, and so that was close enough for this Jennifer's Walfrid Johannes Koski. And so now we learn that so he was born, like she knew, in 94, and he was born in Kaustinen, or he's from there, and the passport was issued in 1913, and so destination is America, and so then I found that this Jonas Walfrid Kuorikoski was born 1894 and was from Kaustinen, and I found him from the communion books here as well, and so we have very little time left. So so what we have here now? Then let's see. Oh, those are communion books. So we find. I'll just click one of these. I would need another hour, but I only don't have it because I guess we are limited. So okay. So here's the family. All right. Here's Jonas Walfrid. He was born 94 here, and father was Jonas Antinpoika Kuorikoski, and mother was Maria Serafina Johansdotter, and I don't see it here now, but we have more information. And then I found the birth record of this Walfrid. It's over here also on all the links, and the mother. And using then Finnish Genealogy that we search in Kaustinen at all times with last name of Kuorikoski gives enormous number of people and separate search. Let's see. I'm just showing what happens when you use this in that case. It's so interesting. So here we have Kaustinen. If I change this to biggest 1,000 events, and I I first did place Kuorikoski. I got about 30, 40 people there. But then I took that place off and I put last name Kuorikoski. And look what happens. Now we get from 1780s all who were born who somehow relating to Kuorikoski. In this case, mostly here they are father. All the kids who were born goes all the way to almost 1900. Then we have everybody who was married who had Kuorikoski in the name, starting 1784. I mean, this is wonderful to find the previous generations doing this. And then who were buried, same burial. But that's just shows how powerful searching this is. All right. Now another interesting thing. This is interesting, really. So we found from this immigration institution, we found that he traveled. His name was only Walfrid Kuorikoski in travel documents. And let's see now. I go there, open it. Look at that. That's wonderful. So now he's Walfrid Kuorikoski. Age is 19. He left, departure was Hanko, and destination Carbonado, Washington, USA. Price was 558 Finnish marks of the time. And he departed from Finland, Hanko, with SS Arcturus steamship on May 21st, 1913. When this ship went first, it stopped in Copenhagen, Denmark, and then it ended up always in Hull, England. Then these people get out of the boat and they go then to a train which is headed to Liverpool. At the trip, because they were certainly third-class passengers, so they were living miserably though, but they were young people who probably didn't care. And so the first meal was everybody got 2 potatoes and a small piece of bread. That was all. And then they were in that lower deck so that men were in one part of the ship and women on the other part. And then they were in that lower deck back after the ship, the third part passengers were allowed to come out only there when the first class and the second class were roaming the whole boat. But anyhow, they were young people, so I don't think they cared too much. And so look what happened then. Then goes to Mauritania, Royal Majesty's ship Mauritania, and departed then 31st of May, 1913. And the Mauritania, when it was built, still till 1910, it was the world's biggest ship, and still this point, it was the fastest, and it was holding this blue ribbon. And so anyhow, this folks went to that, and it's my understanding, I was reading, if you Google these ships and stories of this immigration, there's how they were living in the ship and all, it's interesting read. And I think that ocean trip was like $18 that time or something on the third class. And so it was on the route to New York. So look. Here's a copy of that, what we just saw. And look, here's that's Arcturus, the Finnish steamship. You can Google all kinds of information about that. And then here's Mauritania picture of that. And also enormously much information over there. And then Mauritania's sister ship was Lusitania, which was torpedoed 2 years after that by Germans. And actually, these were built to be against German big ships because they had the advantage that time, and so British needed to do something. And so Mauritania and Lusitania, some other ones were built that time. So if I don't know if we have more time, I have still a couple of more cases here. But if not, then we have to end this. But I still have more here. How are the hosts saying? Can we go more time-wise?
Yes, I guess we can.
Okay.
What about Maria?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I am on a time crunch actually, but if you can continue without me, then you can go for as long as you'd like to. So I think you probably will be fine without me. Katarina I suppose I can leave her as the moderator.
Yeah, okay, because then I have somebody to talk. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I
So
could do this a couple of more things because there's more information actually.
Yeah, then let's do that. Katarina, if that's okay with you, and then you can continue, and then yeah, we can get all the information out there. So I will give Katarina the moderator status, and then you can take it from there.
Yeah, great, thank you.
And for any of the guests, you can just, of course, come and go as
Yes.
everybody else can.
Okay,
So
thank you.
All right.
Maybe I can do the rest in maybe 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I guess that's going to be up to everyone, who stays. And then we do have this material that we'll be sharing. So those who have to leave can still.
But let me know if there's only you and me, then we can finish.
I'll give that to Katarina, and she can let you know.
Maria, before you leave, I just would like to know, when do you think this will be posted in YouTube?
Maybe midweek next week, maybe.
Okay, fairly soon.
Yeah, not with it. I don't think it'll even take a week, but yeah, I have to see what the other things that I have are on my plate, but I'll try to do it as quickly as possible. So, but I'll let everybody know when it's done.
Yeah. Okay, good.
All right.
Thank
I'm
you,
gonna
Maria.
make you the host. Yeah. So bye to everyone.
Bye.
Hey. Yeah, now I'm trying to figure out where I was, because I jumped at the end of the whole thing here. Okay, let's see now. And I still need to work on this whole thing, but let's see now. Trying to figure out whose stuff was this now. Okay, let's see. Oh, so it was still about this Sturgård. Now we remember that where's Häggvist? Hmm. So, okay, I have to come back to that later, I figured out. So next I had here then Maisie McLaren. And so she had Victor Niemi, originally Vaaraniemi, who was born September 1867 in Laanila, Oulu, and may have immigrated in the late 80s. So my note was that I couldn't find this Victor Niemi in Oulu at that time, and you have to do bigger search with surrounding areas, hopefully finding that way more his information somewhere. And then, but this Alina Kentala, who was born 1871 in Karvia, Länsi-Suomi, West Finland, also immigrated 1880s late. And I found that she's possibly, this has to be studied more. I found from Jeannie that there's Alina Johnson Kentala, who was born 1871, died 52. And if that is your ancestor, you are really lucky, because it has already a family tree of 590 ancestors. But that's something, maybe you can figure this out if this is the correct one. And so we can see here that 590 ancestors. So it's a beautiful tree, if that's the case, that's true. But I think it is. And then Kustos Rinkineva was born 1853 in Ylihärmä, Länsi-Suomi, Western Finland. I found Gustafsson Rinkineva birth record, and that must be the one. So let's see that. So that was in Hiski again, and we found that there's when I was born, and father was Torpari, which is a tenant farmer, Gustav Mattsson Rinkineva, and wife was Susanna Hansdotter. She was 34. Now this is again the case that it would be fairly easy to first start with the Hiski and try to figure out these other family members that way. And so then I had Don Hyvärinen. So what is here now happening? So he has Mikko Mike Hyvärinen. Was this your father or grandfather? So yeah, it's here, there's Mikko Hyvärinen. So, but I found again this find a grave memorial. So I just click it to show it. So, but there's this kind of information. It's really good to get other family members this way. And if you click these certain names, there's more information about them. And so I just copied the main information here. And then was wife Ida. Mikko Hyvärinen. Who's this Ida now? So who's Ida?
I think it said the wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyhow, we have a good record on this Ida. again from the grave memorial. And then I found the birth records open. So here again from Hiski, so right. So we know that this Idas, so it was Leppävirta, Paris Monnimäki village, and the father was Matti Wilhelm Eva Nainen, and mother was Maria Henrietta Immonen, or maybe this is Wilhelm's son actually, and Henrik's daughter most likely, and Immonen, 28 years old. But again, there could be more information easily findable for her. And then Isaac Hakola is Isaac Valentin Hakola. It is possible that he is the son of Hakola Torppari's son-in-law, Thomas Aronsson, born 1819 in Jalasjärvi. And this needs to be researched more. But I have the birth record here. And then Jalasjärvi communion book also is here under this link. And I'm not going to click it now because we're running out of time, but it's here. And then Wilhelmina Ahola, born September 1848 in Ahola farm in Karijoki. And so we have her birth records here. And so again, the father was Herman Andersson. He was bonden, so was farm owner, Ahola farm. And wife was Clara, age 36, kid Wilhelmina. And so then Jakob Nestor Isaksson Karijoki was born to Isaac Valentin Isaksson and Wilhelmina Hermansdotter. So another generation here then, which you can click it here. I can do it fast. I just go, my head goes messy this time. So, too long figuring this out. Ahola. Jakob Nestor. Okay, Jakob Nestor. Jakob Nestor. Yeah, here it is, at the very right bottom, Ahola farm, and it can be found here then. And the father was Isaac Valentin Isaksson, and mother Madeleine Hermansdotter. All right, so that's one done. We want this Koski already. So now I have only one. I couldn't figure out yet what I'm doing here. And it was this I think this is related to Sturgård. I saw this Häggvist somewhere. And I have to figure it out later, but I'm going to show what's happening here, because whoever this is related would maybe know. And so anyhow, so we found this. Johanna Häggvist was one of the great, yeah, there it is, family. Son is Frans Hugo Johansson Sturgård, and then mother is then Johanna Häggvist here. Okay, beautiful. So we found more of Sturgård family then, and so Johanna Andersson Häggvist family in Krux, Lottlax Vårö, Vero communion book. we'll check that here. All right. And I have even a map where they're located in archipelago in Vaasa. So this is communion book. These are so dark. This is so slow to go through this, jumping back and forth. But oh, that must be Johanna. Yeah, this is the family now here. So father is here, Anders Eriksson Häggvist, who was born 1835, and this is the Sturgård family now. And he was born in Yrjäs. You can find more about this Yrjäs easily there too. And wife Maria Lovisa Andersson, and she was from Öling, also can be easily found more information from Öling, 1833 born, and their kids, including Johanna. So good, I finally figured that out. So that's Swedish-speaking archipelago of Vaasa, and that's Swedish-speaking parish as well. So Yrjäs is here on this map here, and so I forgot to mention one thing, because this map is let me see if I'm able to find and share it. It's the best map ever of Finland. And let's see if I can share it. I go. Yeah, so if I can do now this share. Karttapaikka. Do you see now this map here?
Yes,
I'm zooming in and out. Is it zooming in?
it's
out?
not zooming. It's not zooming, but we see a map.
Okay, let me see if I can do.
It's very clear.
How about now?
Yes.
Okay, this is the best map of Finland. So look, I'm just zooming, anywhere. I'm just so this is wonderful to find out. It goes so deep, like you can see individual buildings and topographic, the landscape. It's pretty amazing, when you start looking where your family is from, it just tells so detailed, and you can search. So if I put that Yrjäs here, so now there's 8 Yrjäs in Kristina town, Yrjäs in Lovisa, there are 2, and Yrjäs in Porvoo, 3 places, Yrjäs in New Uusikarleby, and Yrjäs Vöyri. And we are talking about now this Sturgård case, this Vöyri, which is here now. We zoom it a little bit out, and we see that it's there in the archipelago. So I don't know, I'm basically done this now. I'm going to clean my presentation, and I'm going to do it so that I can share it everybody, and it would be easy to check on that. And then I can entertain the idea if those people want to have some follow-up meeting one day, we can do it. But so I'm open for that. But that's pretty much what I can think about right now. So if there's any other question, there was something by I'm in Facebook, I guess. But those there was question like somebody was that I'd like to know the names of the DNA tests most used by Finns. I've used Ancestry and have found little for Finland. Would love to find more. See, this Ancestry should be pretty good, and then we have this family tree DNA and other ones. They should have all Finnish as well, because I don't think there's anything Finnish. Actually, it all basically is American and international things. And then somebody had, my grandfather Taavetti Myllyauho was born 1896. He was a miller, married Olga Salminen in October 1922, only daughter Aino Helen, born 24, immigrated to Canada sometime 24, eventually settled to Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. I have been unable to find any info on his hometown family. So this is an example that you had to do a lot of homework. Just keep Googling and asking relatives as much information as possible, and eventually, you will get somewhere. So
yes, here in the comments. So it seems like MyHeritage has many things.
Yes, I have my DNA there too. Yeah.
So
yes, yeah, they have a lot.
Yeah. Okay, I think we can wrap up here.
Yes.
Arto, thank you so much, and this was very inspiring. We get comments that this was very inspiring, and I think me personally, among many others, I'm really inspired to go further and start searching. Yeah, now we know kind of where to start. I have one question though. What is the source? You say that you have a blank paper in front of you. You know a name or whatever. What is a good web page to start building your family tree?
Are you talking about the actual tree?
Yeah, like, look, okay, here I am. I know a name, somebody, and then I go to that person and said how somebody came from Finland to US, and you want to go further down the road. What happened? Are there relatives in the US, for example, here? But the web page where you start building a family tree, whatever the first name is there a good web page for that?
I'm not sure if I follow you completely, but what I'm doing is I do my own research first, and I have a Word document. I keep adding stuff in that, and then I move it to genie.com.
Okay.
And I enter this to genie.com because it would be crazy not to do it, because now, suddenly somebody is working on your family book tree also, same time as you, and you don't necessarily have to do anything, if you're lucky, because somebody may be already working on that. So I would definitely take a membership in something like Genie. And because you don't have to put any personal information there, because it can be a private, but you can add, even your parents can be private, but eventually you want to put some names and their birth dates then there, so that other people can find you, and then they can be connected to your tree, and that way your own tree will grow. Yeah. Sometimes I noticed that suddenly a week went and I have 60 new ancestors, because somebody else found something, connected some trees.
Yeah, okay. So I think we have a place to start. And we will connect back to everybody via those who know Anu you have all the representatives here who were registered, and they will get the follow-up on this. And we will have also YouTube presentation. We have been recording this. So we'll see where we go from here, if we will have a follow-up. I think this was pretty good. So.
And even now, then if later days now, somebody has some questions relating to this, so I'm happy to answer without even follow-ups.
Yes, and now people are wanting to have the links.
Yeah,
everybody will get the links, so I think it's a good start.
Yeah, you will get like 20-30 pages of this thing, with the link.
Yeah, we will email you the PDF and the links.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Arto. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think we'll have a follow-up.
Yeah. Merry Christmas all.
Merry Christmas to you too, Arto, and everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.